Hello, everybody. My name is Omer Reingold. I'm a professor of computer science at Stanford University. You can see behind me the Gates building at Stanford. And I'm really very happy to be part of this project with a lot of my friends and colleagues that mainly are other faculty members and researchers in the area of complexity theory, and more generally in the theory of computing. Um, so as I said, now I'm at Stanford University. I've been in various other institutes in the past. I studied my PhD at the Weizmann Institute in Israel, and I was a faculty member there. I've been to various research labs, like AT&T Research, Microsoft Research, Samsung Research. And for the last 5 or so years, I've been at Stanford. I study various areas in the theory of computer science, in particular complexity theory. One of the topics I study a lot is pseudo-randomness, studying objects that look random, although they have much less entropy than random, truly random objects. And I've also invested a lot of effort and a lot of thought into the societal impact of computation, which I think is a very, very important area for computer scientists to get into, because what we produce, our algorithms, have a lot of impact on individuals and societies, and have great potential of doing great things, but also quite a bit of potential to do harm. And I think it is our responsibility. So I've studied privacy, and recently I'm studying, investing a lot of my effort in the field called algorithmic fairness. And in fact, in all of these areas, complexity theory, as well as algorithmic fairness, I think that my research uses one of the things that theoretical computer scientists do the best, which is the ability to model, the ability to abstract real problems at the right level of abstractions that allow you to say meaningful things and to understand them. And still, although these are simplified models, they are still very applicable to the questions you want to study. And kind of with that, we take more and more bites into the topic we want. And there's been lots of successes in areas like cryptography, algorithmic game theory, and others. And that's what I'm trying to do in algorithmic fairness, for example. But let's get to the topic at hand. So the first topic that we're going to discuss in this class, and that I will present to you, has to do with deterministic finite automata. This is a very simplified model of computation that essentially captures the idea of computation with constant amount of memory, with a fixed amount of memory. When we'll discuss more advanced models, this will be the main difference. More advanced models like Turing machines have more memory. We will define the kind of languages, the kind of computational problems that these finite automata can handle, and we'll call them regular languages. And we'll then try to characterize and also to understand, to study these regular languages, in particular through these very interesting notions of closure properties. We will consider two regular languages, two problems that DFAs can solve, and ask, can you combine them in some natural ways? And are the things you get after you combine them, are they regular languages as well? In the process of trying to prove these closure properties, we will encounter the notion of non-deterministic finite automata. This is going to be our first encounter with this notion of non-determinism, the idea that you're doing guesses that can be verified. This is a topic that would be very important in a later stage in our class, especially when we'll talk about the P versus NP problem. But we encounter it already here in a very simple setting. So it's a great opportunity to understand it already here. Then the next stage is to argue that non-determinism, although it looks very powerful, when you restrict it to finite automata, to constant amount of memory, non-determinism does not increase our powers. So the languages that non-deterministic finite automata recognize are exactly the same languages. These are the regular languages. Armed with this understanding, we can complete the proof of the closure properties. So regular languages have all these closure properties, which are very nice, but beyond that, what we will see next is that regular languages are characterized by closure properties. And we'll see it through this notion of regular expressions. And what we'll see is that these regular expressions, which are expressions that are defined exactly through these closure properties, are equivalent to DFAs and NFAs. They are yet another way of defining regular languages. And this is the picture that we're going to cover in the first topic, which in my opinion is a very nice picture that allows us to really have a nice understanding of what finite state machines can do.